Hello, welcome to qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. We are waiting for the first cars to come around. It's Takuma Sato. First out, it's now both Ferraris, and Frenzten has set the benchmark at 156.1. And Luciano Burti can't beat that. It's 156.3 for Luciano Burti. Ralf Schumacher's just beaten his teammate by 0.001 seconds. And both Jaguars also struggling out there. They are free with Pedro de Rosa's 310s, and that is Frenzten just beating Ralf Schumacher again. This time by 100th of a second exactly. But he's done 6 laps. Ralf Schumacher still needs to do 3 more flying laps. Got Mika Salo in 5th, Button in 6th, the 2 Ferraris, Barrichello and Schumacher 7th and 8th. Paddock's 9th and Coulthard is in 10th place. Got Burti and Pedro de Rosa in 4th and 3rd, respectively. Coulthard did his Alonso 11, 12 and 13 for the bad showing for the other Toyota of Alonso. At the moment there's not much action to go, and there's 25 minutes left of the session. Really not much action. Oh, Button's come out. So has Burti, so has Ralf Schumacher. Mika Salo also. Burti improves, but not enough in position. Schumacher doesn't improve. Frenzten's come out. And he improves massively. He's now 1.5 tenths ahead of Ralf Schumacher. With 10 minutes left, Ralf Schumacher goes out again. He improves, but it's not enough to beat Frenzten. Looks like Frenzten's going to take pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. He doesn't improve his lap time. It's a 156 dead for Frenzten. And looks like that is pretty much going to be the session run. The session has ended. Button only does 8 laps out of the 12 he has allocated. So it's Frenzten on pole, Schumacher in 2nd, Burti and De La Rosa 3rd and 4th. The 4 main championship protagonists in the top 4 of the standings. And there is the rest of them. Alazi 14th, Sato 15th, Webber 16th. And I couldn't get the rest of them. I think Trulli was 17th. And it is race day for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's lovely clear skies in the Ardane forest, as we are about to witness the 14th, I think, 15th round of the 17 race championship. And we are under starters orders. And they are away. Frenzten gets a very good start from pole position. He's going to keep hold of the lead going down into the source. Burti tries to look down the inside of Ralf Schumacher. Is Burti or De La Rosa? Burti hits the wall. De La Rosa hits the wall. Neither of them got damaged though. Button manages to get in front of Burti into 4th place. There's Barrichello going down the inside of Salo as they all go up towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Up towards Radion and down the Kemmel Straight. Salo trying to look for a way past Barrichello as we look at the replay. That is one of the Renaults that has stalled. Not sure which one it is. Fisichella. Fisichella has stalled. It looks like Fisichella is the first retirement of the race already, as we have another replay. This is Mika Hakkinen going down the inside. Oh no, that's a crash, and Mika Hakkinen. And then he also takes Alonso out. That is quite a pile up in turn 1. That's one of the Jordans being pushed away. That looks like Trulli. Trulli's still alive. He's going backwards down the track. That's just unbelievable. Alonso's out as well. That's not very good. Webber's out. There's Alonso. Fisichella's out. Trulli crashes remarkably. And Alazi was caught up in that as well. And he's far behind. So it's a very poor start for the Renaults at the moment. Frenzten currently leads in the Arrows with Ralf Schumacher, his teammate, 2nd place on the road. Frenzten and both Frenzten and Ralf Schumacher chasing the championship with Luciano Burti 3rd place, Button 4th place, spoiling the Jaguar party, shall we say. being in 4th place. There is Pedro de Rosa in 5th place. He's got Salo quite a bit behind him in 6th place in the Toyota. 7th place is Barry Keller with 8th place. Michael Schumacher as they go around Pouan for the first time. There is 9th place David Coulthard with Olivier Panis in 10th place in the BAR. Sato 11th is already losing time to the top 10 with Diners in 12th place. Young is in 13th place currently in the Minardi. That was Raikkonen trying to go down the inside of the Minardi. Then we have Jean Alesi. He's already 5 seconds behind, but he's the last remaining car left on track. All the rest of them have actually retired, so we had 5 retirements out at the start. But it is Heinz-Harald Frenzten. He's been clear away from trouble as they go around the bus stop chicane for the first time. Down towards La Source, the end of the first lap of 18 here in Belgium. Round La Source they go down towards Eau Rouge. Frenzten building up a lead already over Ralf Schumacher. Burti currently in 3rd place. Eau Rouge. This is one of the best corners of the Grand Prix calendar. They go up there at about 180 miles an hour. There's Ralf Schumacher. It's a beautiful shot here down the Kemmel Straight. Burti, Button, 4th place. Pedro de Rosa in 5th place in the Jaguar. Down towards this name escapes me of this chicane. And down round turn 7 as I open up a drink. I'm probably going to need this race. This is a very difficult corner to go around. It's off cambered, so your car always goes over to the left round the corner with no name. Down towards Pouan for the second time. We've got to negotiate this corner 18 times. Out the exit of it. And down towards the chicane. It's a tricky braking point for this chicane. You can't carry too much speed into it. And there's Salo in 6th place. And Barry Keller 7th place. And Michael Schumacher's in 8th place. Now going off last season's race, qualifying position was key as the back guys couldn't overtake the front guys at all. So we shall see if that is the case again, or if cars can manage to overtake. But Coulthard is dropping away from Michael Schumacher in 9th place. And there's 10th placed Olivier Panis going round the bus stop chicane. So left, right, then right, left. It's a very awkward pit lane to get into as well. That's just in the middle of the bus stop. And that was a little bit of a shake by Pedro did. His Raikkonen is already 12 seconds back. His Raikkonen is losing heaps of time. Young is in 14th place. This is what happened. Is Raikkonen goes down the inside of La Source. That's a nice overtake by Raikkonen. So it's actually Young that's incredibly slow at the moment. And is holding a lot of people up. As to go around La Source. He's a lazy going to someone down the inside of Young. Yes, he is. And he managed to make the move stick. Young down in 15th and now last place. As they go around Eau Rouge. And Radion at the top of this chicane. And down the Kemmel Straight, where you can pick up loads of speed. Frenzten currently leads by 2.1 seconds over Ralf Schumacher. In the other Arrows, it's going to be a brilliant day for Arrows at the moment, who are looking to secure the Constructors' Championship. And this is one way of doing it, by trying to get a 1-2. But Burti's in 3rd place currently in the leading Jaguars. Button is still in between the two Jaguars as they go past Stavelo, the second pilot Stavelo, down towards Blanchimont. Here it is. It's a little lift around Blanchimont as we go towards the bus stop chicane. Ralf Schumacher trying to chase down Frenzten on this 1 minute 56 lap as Frenzten is just driving into the distance at the moment. Burti in 3rd place in the Jaguar, braking hard towards La Source. It's a 60km/h corners, the tightest corner on the circuit. And it's down to the fastest, full throttled section of the circuit. Down towards Eau Rouge. There is Pedro de la Rosa going through Ardane down the camel straight towards Le Com. He's trying to chase down Jensen Button in the Jordan. This is the break from about 180 miles an hour down to 100 kilometers an hour. And he's getting nowhere near Button. He's a second back from him, but he can't get anywhere near him. Salo is 1.5 seconds behind Pedro de la Rosa at the moment. There is Mika Salo in the Toyota 6th place. He's 1.5 seconds behind Barrichello at the moment. Down towards Pouron. There's a double left-hander taken in gear 2, about 130 miles an hour the first section, and then second section to gear 3, it's a bit faster. We're going down towards this right-left chicane, the gear 2 chicane this is, 150 kilometers an hour. Around both corners. There's David Coulthard in 9th place in the McLaren. And down round Stavolo. Just dual right-handed Stavolo. Sarto's in 11th place. He's 5 seconds back from the rest of the field. Din is 12th place in the BAL. Raikkonen has lost heaps of time. He's in 15 seconds behind. In 13th place, Lazy will be in 14th place. And the Renault is going to be a disastrous day for Renault, who's trying to catch up to the mid-pack of Jordan and Sauber. Young is currently 7 seconds behind at the end, coming up to the end of lap 4. Down towards Blanchimont goes Lazy. Lazy's following Raikkonen round Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicanes. Is a Lazy going to send one down the inside? He had a little look there, but nothing doing there. That was brave, trying to take one down the inside of there. Is he going to go for a move down towards La Source? He's got the inside line. He can't. Raikkonen shuts the door on him, and Raikkonen goes away down towards Eau Rouge for the 5th time. It's a lovely shot of this going up the hill, up down towards the Kemmel Straight, and that is an engine problem, it looks like, for a Lazy's. Streaks of smoke coming from the back of that Renault engine down the Kemmel Straight. Looks like we might have our 6th retirement in lap 5. There's the huge plumes of smoke coming from that Renault. It looks like it's just a matter of time before that engine gives up. Loads of smoke. Not much smoke coming from that angle, but behind it was huge amounts of smoke. The Renault team are getting ready for a Lazy. I'm not sure if it's to park the car up or for this a normal pit stop. But there is huge amounts of smoke coming from that Renault engine. Look at the smoke that he's creating, going down towards the chicanes, right, left, chicane. Around there, 150, and there it goes. The engine has completely let go, and a Lazy parks it up on the right hand side. He becomes the 6th retirement. It's a double retirement for the Renault team. There goes Alex Young. He's now in 14th place, as we see a first bunch of pit stops happening. That was Barrichello, Burti. I think one of the arrows went in as well. Burti comes out just ahead of Coulthard in the McLaren. As Coulthard going to have a little look down the inside of Burti. It was Ralf Schumacher that's pitted, so the second arrow's pitted. And that is Coulthard, in fact. He's in trouble. It looked like he was stuck in gear 5, it looks like. He's still got a good amount of speed, but he's not able to keep up with any of the drivers on the straight. There's Barrichello. He's made his first pit stop. He's down in 10th at the moment, but he has clear air. There is Heinz-Harald Frenzten in the arrows, leading comfortably now, pretty much. He's got an 11-second lead over the Jordan as he comes around for his first pit stop. There's the Jordan of Button. He still has De La Rosa for company behind him, meaning that it's going to be hard for De La Rosa to try and jump the Brit in the Jordan. There is Sarlo, 4th place in the Toyota, round the second part of Stavolo. There's Ralf Schumacher, he's in 5th place. He's got quite a bit of clear air. There's Michael Schumacher in 6th place in the Ferrari. He has yet to stop. That's how much of an advantage the Arrows had. It was managed to get in front of Michael Schumacher. There's Burti in 7th place in the Jaguar. As Button goes into the pits for his first pit stop. Looks like Frenzten actually carried on, and so has De La Rosa. This is where he was expecting the 2 stoppers between laps 5 and 7. Button changing all 4 tyres, and away he goes. There's a 7.8 second pit stop for Button. It looks like Burti has already cleared them. So it looks like the overcut is working a little. The undercut's working a little bit. It's a 3-second gap between Burti and Button. It's either working a little bit or there's no difference at all. I mean, it should be as you were. There is Michael Schumacher in 5th place. He has yet to make a pit stop. His brother in front of him has made a pit stop. He's in 4th place currently, is Ralf Schumacher. He's trying to chase down a championship currently being led by Luciano Burti, who is more than likely going to lose the lead of the championship because Frenzten is doing very well in the lead. It might become the 3rd Arrows victory. Only might. There's still 11 laps to go, so anything can happen as the Schumacher grinds to a halt, and that is Burti that's crashed into the back of him. Burti's had his engine failure as well. So not only has Burti lost his front wing, but his engine's let it go as well. That Jaguar engine is not going to last longer. And that can have massive implications in the championship. There goes Burton down the inside. He's now up to a net 3rd, and that's going to have massive implications to the championship. Burti shutting down the front wing, and there is his engine. It's piling heaps of smoke into the face of Barrichello in the Ferrari. He's going really slow around Blanchimont. Barrichello barely gets in front of Burti as his engine's let go. His engine's let go. Straight into the wall he goes around the bus stop chicane. He is out of the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 7, and this has huge, massive implications to the World Championship. And not only at the point of view of the Jaguar team, but the point of view of the Arrows team as well. Because now the Arrows team is going to have a huge advantage going into the final 2 races in Spain. And I don't remember the other track, Germany. As they go down towards the Camel Straight, there is Burti's teammate. It's a 1-2 still for the Arrows. They've got a 15-second lead now over Pedro de la Rosa. Here's a replay. There's Burti. And Schumacher pretty much stops in the middle of this turn, and he's just unsighted pretty much. And there's the engine that was going. The engine went just as the crash happened, so it looks like it might have been a result of the accident that Burti has retired. And here's a replay. He came he managed to avoid Barrichello barely. Barrichello's a very, very lucky man to avoid Burti. But he becomes the 7th retirement. Here's a replay. This is going to be frightening. How close was this? You're talking millimeters from Barrichello having an accident. Millimeters. But there is the stricken Jaguar of Luciano Burti out of the Belgian Grand Prix. But here's the man leading the race, about to take one step towards that championship. Heights Harold Frenzten in the Arrows, leading on lap 8 out of 18. There's Ralf Schumacher in second place in the other arrows. Round Ardane. No, it was not Ardane, that was Stavolo, the second part of Stavolo. Pedro de la Rosa, 10 seconds behind. And there's Button. So Pedro de la Rosa did manage to jump Button. Button might have had to avoid that accident. So de la Rosa is currently in third place. It's going to dampen the blow somewhat, but it's still going to be an 11-point gap with going into the final 2 races. Down round Blanchimont. Down towards the bus stop. Chicane. Breaking down towards 70 kilometers an hour in the first part. The second part is 100 kilometers an hour. Down towards La Source. Just a list of the 7 retirements. Kuma Sato's coming in 7th place to Minardi. Looks like Coulthard just gone into the pits, unless he's retired. I don't sure who. I don't even know who's retired. I get now or not. Loads of people retired, so I don't know. I think Coulthard has actually retired. I don't know where. He might have retired in the first lap, and I just didn't catch it. I thought Coulthard was fine, but yeah. So there is only 11 runners now in this race. Young is the last runner and he's in 11th place. We could have a record of non-finishers as Young enters the pits for, I'm not sure what pit stop this is. This might be his first. I'm not too sure. Too much action has happened at the moment for me to know. There's both McLarens, both Renaults. Minardi of Young in the pits. Both Minardis are still out there currently. And there's a 9.6 second pit stop for Young. It's a very slow pit stop. Down out he goes. He's going to be far in last place. 18 seconds behind Raikkonen now, as there's Heinz Frenzten going past the second of the bus stops down towards lap 10 for the arrows. Frenzten currently leads by about 5 seconds going around La Source. Looks like it's going to be a comfortable victory for the Arrows team. There's Ralf Schumacher in second place. In the other Arrows, down towards the bus stop, Pedro de la Rosa, third place in the Jaguar. And there is Button, fourth for Jordan, down towards Eau Rouge. Mikasalo, 5th place, he's going down towards Eau Rouge as well. And Ardane, Barrichello behind in 6th place in the Ferrari. Round the Eau Rouge they go, and Ardane down towards the Kemmel Straight. The speedometer just keeps ticking. 340, 344, 345, 346 they stop at. Very heavy braking point at full of calm. 346 kilometers an hour in the Ferrari. And there is Sato coming down the round. I'm not sure where this is, just past Le Com. There's Barrichello going around the corner with no names, 10 seconds in front of Sato. He's in the Sato-Salo sandwich as the Salo goes around Pouan in 5th place currently. Button is in 4th place in the Jordan. It's going to be a good heap of points for the Jordan team as they look to try and secure 5th place in the championship in front of Sauber and Renault as they go around Stavolo for the 10th time. Got 8 laps to go after this. And, everyone still needs to make one more pit stop in this race. Down round Blanchimont they go. It's a little braking for Blanchimont because set up to not go quick round corners, it's quick down the straights that going round the bus stop chicane. 73 kilometers an hour for the Toyota Salo. Barrichello 6th place in the Ferrari. There is Sato. The Minardi team are ready for him to make a pit stop. I'm not sure if this is his last pit stop or his second. I think this might be his second pit stop, so he's going to have to pit one more time because I don't think the cars can manage 8 laps with the fuel tanks unless he has a Shell fuel tank. Then in that case he can make it, but I think Sato has a BP fuel tank, so he won't be able to make it. There is Sato, 8.7 pit stop for the Minardi of Sato. He is away in, I think that's 8th place. He does have a Shell fuel tank, so he can make it to the end, but he's far behind everyone. There's Raikkonen in 10th place. Sauber's pledging their loyalty to Shell this whole season. 50 litre fuel tanks do the Shell have. BP have the 30 litres, being used by our current race leader Frenzten. While they are slower, they do have to make one less pit stop. The pit stop loses about 20 seconds. Although this track is a bit shorter because of where the pit stop is positioned, the pit lane is positioned, and they're not really going that fast down the pit straight. There is the arrows of Ralf Schumacher starting his 12th lap. He's actually slightly catching up to Frenzten. Frenzten only 3 seconds back now. He was around 4 or 5, but Pedro De La Rosa is still 13.5 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher as they go up Eau Rouge round Ardane. Down the Camel Straight goes the arrows. What speed the arrows going to do here? Down towards the breaking point is 346 as well, so they're doing the same speed as the Ferrari of Michael Schumacher. Round Le Combe and down towards the difficult corner on the circuit, which is Bruxelles. Yeah, I know what that name is called. I didn't have to look it up. Round Puam goes the arrows of Ralf Schumacher in the second corner around Puam. They're coming up to a lapped car is Frenzten. It looks like it is Young that they're coming up towards. Is Young going to get out of the way of Frenzten? The answer is not very easily, but Frenzten managed to easily pass him around Stavolo. Ralf Schumacher, is he going to catch up to Young before the bus stop chicane? But it looks like the arrows are getting ready. If it was Ralf Schumacher that pitted first out of the two of them, so we presume it's Ralf Schumacher again, as we have a replay of Salo going around the Bruxelles corner that I totally know the name of, and he just grinds to a halt. He becomes the 10th retirement of this race, does Mika Salo, meaning that all 10 drivers are going to finish in the points. It's also a disaster for the Toyota team, both their cars retiring. As we go back on board with Ralf Schumacher going down towards the bus stop chicane, brake. And Ralf Schumacher dives into the pit lane for his second of 2 pit stops. This is his final pit stop of the race. Should easily make it to the end now. Into the pit box goes the arrows, the bright orange livery car, showing a sponsorship to the orange phone company, and away he goes. That's a very quick pit stop. Is he going to get out in front of Pedro De La Rosa? Going down towards Eau Rouge. Yes, he is. Ralf Schumacher manages to get ahead of Pedro De La Rosa still. Obviously, the Spaniard has to do one more pit stop, but that's how much of an advantage the Arrows had in this race. But De La Rosa looks towards the inside, going towards Le Combe. Is he going to make the pass stick? The answer is no. He's left out to dry. Left hanging to dry as they go around the third part of the Le Combe complex. Down around this difficult corner, the oft-cambered Bruxelles corner. Down towards the corner with no name. It's a very tricky corner, this is. The wall is very close to you, so one mistake and you're in that wall. And put on the scene of the dramatic accident for Luciano Burti, crashing into the back of Michael Schumacher and having massive implications to the championship. In fact, that might mean that Michael Schumacher is out of the championship race, because he was ahead of Pedro De La Rosa, in fact, and De La Rosa might also be out of the running. There's Heinz Frenzten. He's now got a 17-second lead over his compatriot Ralf Schumacher in the Arrows. Both the German drivers in the British team of the Arrows. There is Jensen Button in the Jordan coming towards the pit lane as the Jordan team are ready for him. Trulli is already out, so Button braking down to 75 miles an hour, down and around into the pit goes the Jordan, and he's now going to be braking 100 kilometers an hour down the pit lane into the bright yellowed overalls of the Jordan team. And is he going to come out? Yes, he is. 8.8 second pit stop for the Jordan team. It's quite a slow pit stop, but that's not going to trouble him that much because he's going to keep hold of 4th place at the moment. And he now goes towards Eau Rouge. And Ardane down, and we'll go back on board with the Jaguar of Pedro De La Rosa. They've already caught back up to Young. That's how slow Young is compared to the leaders. Ralf Schumacher pitted and has managed to come back towards Young before they even finish 2 laps, as De La Rosa now has trouble trying to get past Young round Pouhon, but he's managed to get past round the outside of the second part of Pouhon. Pedro De La Rosa likes them to round the outside overtakes, and that is Ralf Schumacher, and that is Heinz Frenzten in the Arrows, heading towards the pit lane as he makes his second and final pit stop of the afternoon. Through the bus stop chicane and into the pits for the Arrows driver. Braking for 100 metres. The Arrows pit box is right at the end of the pit lane. There's a Jaguar also ready. It's going to be for Pedro De La Rosa because Burti is out. Changes of all 4 tyres. There's Ralf Schumacher. We keep an eye on him. Don't think he's going to jump Heinz Frenzten. I think Heinz Frenzten is going to keep the lead. He had a 3-second advantage. There goes Ralf Schumacher going around La Source. And Frenzten, I didn't see Frenzten, but he's not coming out the pits, so it means that Frenzten's already well ahead. Yes, he is 4.5 seconds ahead of his teammate, and there is De La Rosa pitting for the Jaguar team. He's comfortably ahead of Button by about 4.5 seconds. In the Jordan, there is the Jordan of Button, Barrichello 5th place in the Ferrari, and Sato 6th place in the Minardi, but he's well behind. But we're going to have a battle here for 6th place. It looks like Panis, bit erratic there going around that corner, mate. We're going to have a battle here for 6th place between Sato and Panis. Diniz is well behind his BAR teammate, but Diniz is going to score again. Shock. Round Eau Rouge up towards Ardane. Down the Kemmel Straight for the 15th time. I don't believe anyone else has to make a pit stop unless they've run out of fuel, which means they're, you know, not good at conserving their fuel. There's Raikkonen, hampered by a lot of back markers was Raikkonen. His fuel strategy hasn't worked. He's 1 stop, and there is the laughing stock of the whole Formula 1 community, Alex Young, who is incredibly slow, and De La Rosa has to pass him again. Down towards Blanchimont goes De La Rosa, the Spaniard. Gear 5 down towards the bus stop chicane. There is Alex Young. He's going to catch up to Alex Young coming towards the Eau Rouge, it looks like, because there's no way he's going to catch him at La Source. He's way too far back, unless some miracle happens and Young goes wide. Nope, Young has not gone wide, but he is. Pedro De La Rosa has caught up a lot. He's not going to go towards the Eau Rouge close enough to try and challenge him. Though it depends how slow Young goes down at Baton Rouge. He hasn't actually that slow. But Pedro de la Rosa is now in the slipstream of the Minardi as the speedometer ticks 346, 347, 348 down towards Lecombe, braking very hard. The second part is chicane, and there's the third, and he's now going to be held up by Young going towards Bruxelles. Is De La Rosa going down the inside? Yes, he does, and he has clearly gone past him. Round the corner with No Name, Button in 4th place in the Jordan. He goes round the corner with No Name, 4 seconds back from Pedro de la Rosa. He's not going to be catching him in the 3 laps left. And there's Barrichello's in 5th place. He is 5 seconds behind Button at the moment. Barrichello's in 5th place for the Ferrari. As we go towards the final 2 laps of this oh so theatrical Belgian Grand Prix. Last season it was one of the worst races I ever had to commentate on. This season we had a 5-car pile-up at start. Drama with Burti crashing into the stopped Michael Schumacher. And while there's not been many overtakes happening around the circuit, it's been quite enjoyable to watch and commentate over as we go back on board with Heinz Howard Frenzten. They look at the list of retirements. Hakkinen, Trulli, both of them retired. Webber also retired from the race. Alonso also retired in a Toyota, as does Fisichella. All of them were involved in that first corner pile-up. Alesi had an engine blowout. Coulthard, no idea what happened to him. He was a mystery. Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari, and Burti, the biggest casualty of this race. Salo in 11th place, he was also a casualty, and he is our last man, Alex Young. 9th place is currently Raikkonen in the Sauber, with Panis in 7th place. And he comes close, but Sato not managing to... Sato managed to block Panis and easily keeps hold of that 6th place for the oh so important 6th place for the Minardi, especially in their head-to-head against BAR. Down towards Lecombe. Obviously there's a huge fight as well for 8th place between BAR, Minardi and McLaren. McLaren aren't going to score any points. Minardi are going to score a huge heap of points, as so are BAR. The BAR is going to score more points than Minardi because Din is in 8th place, Young is in 10th place, so they score 1 more point than Minardi or BAR. As we start the final lap here, Sauer Frenzten starts his final lap, 4.1 seconds ahead of his teammate Ralf Schumacher. Looks like it's going to be set 1-2 finish for the Arrows team. As we still look on the battle of 6th place between Sato and Panis. It's a huge gap between the 2 Arrows and the next car, which is De La Rosa. 23 seconds towards the Jaguars. It's been a very dominant performance for the Arrows team. Button is in 4th place in the Jordan. 5th place currently Barrichello in the Ferrari, the sole remaining Ferrari after Michael Schumacher retired. And the second part pull on. We're still on board with Panis here, as he still tries to look for a gap to try and pass Sato. This might be his best opportunity. If he gets a good exit out of the second part of the bus stop, he might be able to send one down the inside of La Source, but he didn't get a very good exit round that corner, and he's not going to be anywhere close enough to try and challenge Sato. There's Barrichello, he's 30 seconds ahead of that battle. Button going to finish in 4th place, it looks like, in the Jordan. De La Rosa, the sole remaining Jaguar, in 3rd place. But here are the magic boys of this race. That was Ralf Schumacher, and there's Heinz Harald Frenzten in the Arrows, going down towards Blanchimont for the 18th and final time. It's been an absolute dominant performance. Pole position, most likely fastest lap. He's led every single lap the Grand Chelem for Heinz Harald Frenzten, who comes around the final part of the bus stop chicane to take victory in the Belgian Grand Prix. And there it's Ralf Schumacher finishing 3.9. He was catching up to Frenzten at the end, but Ralf Schumacher finishes in second place to cement Arrows' dominance in this race. De La Rosa finishing in third place in the end for the Jaguar team, but it's 11 lost points for the Jaguar team, putting them quite far back in the race for the title in the constructors. There's Button finishing in fourth place, in much important fourth place in the fight for the midfield. Barrichello finishing in fifth place. He scored points for Ferrari over their battle for third place. And this is the fight between Sato and Panis. It looks like Sato is going to finish in sixth place for the Minardi. As they break towards the bus stop chicane, there's not really much of an overtaking spot here. Panis is going to... Panis had a little look, but Sato is going to keep hold of... Panis has been very erratic around that corner all day, but there is Sato and Panis finishing in 6th and 7th respectively, as we look at the race winner of Heinz Harald Frenzten, the camera shot of the helmet of the German. He will take the lead of the Drivers' Championship if the standings would have already come up, but he is more than likely taking the lead of the championship, and he's got... I could jinx him and say he's got one hand of that title, but he could win the title next race in Spain if he really wanted to, or we can have a fight in Germany. I mean, it's his choice. He could win, but your winner of the Belgian Grand Prix for Season 2, Heinz Harald Frenzten, finishing 3.9 seconds ahead of his Arrows teammate in second place. De La Rosa rounding off the podium. He was 24 seconds behind the two leaders in the end of the race, which is quite a huge gap, all things considered. Oh yeah, I remember what happened to David Coulthard. He was stuck in that gear, wasn't he? But we went off because Schumacher and Burti, obviously. I forgot he had an engine failure. Anyway, not engine failure, gearbox failure. Very dominant performance from Heinz Harald Frenzten. Ralf Schumacher, I think he actually took the fastest lap away from Ralf Schumacher. I'm not sure though. There's Button in 4th place in the Jordan. 5th place Barrichello in the Ferrari. 6th place Sato in the Minardi. 7th place Panis in the BAR. He was over a minute behind Diniz. In 8th place to double score in BAR. Raikkonen finishing in 9th place. And the last finisher, he scores one solitary point, is Alex Young. And there is the long list of retirement: Salo, Burti, Schumacher, Coulthard, Alesi, Fisichella, Alonso, Weber. I don't remember anything else. Anyway, that is the Belgian Grand Prix. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you stay tuned for the final 2 races of the season. Goodbye.